We're back at the remote off-grid cabin for a weekend of work. We've got a cool weather window, so it's perfect for getting some projects done. The goal for this trip is to turn our chaos corner into a functional and beautiful kitchen, as well as add a little bit of storage, put in a window for our outhouse, and just continue cleaning up trash and brush piles on the property. To catch you up, we bought this property in the Upper Peninsula of Michigan in January of 2025. It's got an abandoned cabin started but not finished, a creek, a boardwalk, and lots of trash. Our goal is to finish the cabin, clean up the land, build some outbuildings, and overall make this property a joy to be at. Thanks for tuning in as we continue building up Middlefork. It's Memorial Day weekend in the US, and with the extra time off, we couldn't resist getting up to our property, Middlefork, to get some more work done. It's getting green in Michigan, but the plants and trees at Middlefork feel like they're just starting to wake up. Still a ways to go before everything is fully green. This is mixed boreal forest land, so we've got mostly spruce and balsams on the property, but there are also some absolutely massive white birch, a handful of scattered maples, and a few other deciduous trees that we're kind of trying to identify. We think that these flowering trees may be serviceberry, which is a native fruiting tree that birds love. We've also seen some sort of cherry and lots of alder around the creek. We arrived at the property late in the day on Friday, so we just carried in our materials, ate a quick dinner, and relaxed around the wood stove. Oh yeah, nice sight right there. Saturday morning dawned bright, vibrant, and quite cold. Just a perfect morning for a hot cup of coffee, a cabin in the woods, in the middle of nowhere. My wife and I went out for a little bird walk to see what species were in the area. It's prime spring migration, and one of our big hobbies is birding. We like birding because it's something that you can do anywhere in the world. It forces you to slow down, listen, and look. I think a lot of us lack the practice in our busy lives to be fully present in a moment. Alright, time for another cup of coffee and then let's get to work.
What do you think, Kel?
Already this spring, we were able to finish the floor, build a loft and a ladder, and add some furniture to the cabin. Oh yeah, and we also replaced the entire roof, so forgot about that one. It's getting to be a really nice place to be. If you want to see any of those builds, check out some previous videos. Now one thing that's not great though is this back corner. I'm calling it the chaos corner. It's mostly just been a place to put things that's kind of not in the way, but it's also where the folding table is for cooking. There's not really enough room to prep and cook food or set anything. It's just not a nice place to be. I think it's high time to build a kitchen into this cabin. With the very limited space in the 180 square foot cabin, I decided that a small L-shaped kitchen would be a perfect fit and a great use of space. I drew up some plans based off measurements that I'd gotten from previous trips. Now, as with everything at this cabin, it's got to be completely custom to fit the space.
So these are Phillips, but I found a drill bit that actually fits. Look at that.
The kitchen cabinets will be framed out of 2x2s with 1/2-inch plywood for finished siding, and doors, and drawers. I cut the 2x2s at home in my garage since I've got a miter saw that makes quick, perfect work of a bunch of these kind of cuts. With all the materials pre-cut, it was pretty much just a matter of putting it all together in place. We started with the front and the back, which are basically the same, except that the front is about 4 inches shorter to account for the toe kick, or the little area that your feet go under while you're standing at the counter. Once the front and the back are built, braces are added to form the shape and structure of the cabinets. And then they can kind of be moved into place and ensure that everything fits correctly.
Come in real wide.
You can see this other side here is a few inches lower. Well, that's because this is where 2 drawers are gonna go.
Uh-oh.
The drawers were also built ahead of time. Of course, you could buy tracks and hardware so your drawer slides out just like it does in your kitchen at home, but this is a cabin, and I think it deserves some more basic drawers. Here I'm putting together an L-shaped guide. Now this basically just holds the drawer straight. The drawer itself just slides on the 2x2s. Not exactly buttery smooth, soft closed drawers, but honestly, I don't want that at a cabin.
Oh! China. 1 metric. Probably.
Probably.
What do I look like, an interior designer?
Really?
Cabinet builder?
Quick random side note here. Yes, I am aware that my walls are not finished. I plan to insulate the walls and finish them with tongue and groove later on this summer or fall. I'm not hard mounting any of the kitchen to the studs right now. When we need to, this whole kitchen can be slid away from the walls, then moved back into place and permanently attached once the interior walls are done. Might seem a little out of order to you, but hey, this is my build and that's the way it's gonna be.
You look ridiculous. Oh, yes.
It's always important to pick your head up and look around from time to time, no matter what you're doing. While we were working on the cabinets, this broad-winged hawk had landed nearby to show off. That was a nice treat. Thanks, bud. We saw a few other bird species that afternoon as well. It's always such a treat to see different bird species, but let's get back to work on this kitchen.
Oh.
Like a glove. A glove with a drawer bottom.
Pretty soon it was time to test fit the countertops.
That's slick.
These countertops are really high quality butcher block. I bought it as one piece, a 3-foot by 6-foot chunk on Facebook Marketplace. A nearby bakery had used it as a prep table for a couple years. I cut it down to 24 inches wide and pieced together the cuts to form the other side of my L. I love the look of these countertops, and I also love that they came from a bakery that I enjoy going to. A little finishing work brought out the beauty of this block. Dang, that looks good. The next stage was getting the hole cut for the
Yeah,
sink.
I'm trying to figure, because like you want a little bit here, but you don't
Right.
need like a ton.
Right.
So maybe like that.
This sink was also purchased on Facebook Marketplace. Honestly, we tried not to buy anything new for the interior of the cabin at all. It was almost entirely Marketplace or thrifted. Even though this is a dry cabin, meaning no running water, having a sink to wash your dishes or spit toothpaste is worth its weight in whatever a sink is made out of. Stainless steel, I guess. The funniest thing happened when I was cutting this hole for the sink. Remember how I said that the countertop came from a bakery?
It smells like, I feel like I can smell like bread.
I do too.
Really?
I literally smell like
I was thinking exactly the same thing.
Because at first, like, this wood smells really good, and I was like, that's bread. Like, this is from a bakery.
Yep.
With the hole cut, I laid down some silicone under the lip of the sink, and then ran another bead around the outside.
This is supposed to be clear. I'm kind of confused.
This kind of fine work isn't really my forte, but it looks like it'll work perfectly fine.
Ouch.
While I was busy making a sandwich, I realized I still needed to call a plumber out to hook up the sink and water.
So let's plumb this place. Oh, I mean, yeah, that's like perfect.
And that's it. Plumbing done. The next kitchen remodel item that I wanted to tackle was some shelves. I could have bought some nice, even dimensional boards from a lumber store to make nice, even dimensional shelves. Or not. I bought these behemoth rough cut 2-inch thick maple boards from, you guessed it, Facebook Marketplace. These are going to make some really nice, unique, open shelves. But first, I needed to cut them down to a more reasonable size. To mount the shelves, I bought 1/2-inch threaded steel rods to hold them up. I drilled 3 inches deep into my studs to mount the rods. I also used a construction adhesive to make sure they'd never loosen or pull out of the studs.
Man, the first one came off so easy.
I'm using 3 of these rods per shelf.
What days is a server coming in handy there?
It's not exactly the prettiest solution ever, but it's got kind of an industrial charm to it. Plus, it was easy and cheap. Now look at that, it was even level. I originally thought about buying brackets, but with the size and weight of these maple slabs, I had a hard time finding something that was robust enough. When I did find some, they were expensive and huge. I'll get some kind of bracket to hold the shelves to the rods next time I'm up, but for now, these aren't going anywhere. In the meantime, my dad and wife have been working on trim and hardware for the cabinets and drawers, really getting the finishing touches going.
Oh, when no one's watching.
A little bit of organizing and some door and drawer pulls later, this kitchen turned out great. It's one of those wonderful times that it looks even better in person than the plans. I love the rustic look of everything mixed with the industrial hardware and sink. It was finally time to find a home for some of the loose items that had been floating around the cabin for weeks. That's one of the most important things that you can do in a tiny space. Have a place for everything. Otherwise, it can get chaotic. It was also time for a well-deserved tiny cake. Kitchen project wrapped up, we took some time to enjoy dusk around the property, which is another prime birding time. At the end of our dusk walk, we heard a howl. Now we know we've got coyotes, we've seen them on the trail camera, and we've heard them yipping. One way to tell visually if it's a coyote is to look at the tail. If it looks like it's been dipped in paint like this, you've got a coyote. But this howl didn't really sound like a coyote. We wonder if it maybe was a wolf? I don't know. Leave a comment if you have any idea. The next morning, it was a treat to make coffee in the new kitchen instead of crammed back in the corner on a folding table. Even though it was Memorial Day weekend, there was frost on the ground first thing when I woke up, so that hot coffee was a treat. Early morning is my favorite time to enjoy the property. The birdsong is fantastic, and the way that early morning sunlight hits things is just perfect. It's incredibly peaceful to walk around the property and have a slow start to the day. That morning was also a great opportunity to continue burning some brush. There are brush piles absolutely everywhere around the cabin. The previous landowner had cut a whole lot of trees to clear room for the building, but didn't burn or move any of it. This is going to be a multi-month project to burn brush around this cabin. One of our main goals here is to be good stewards of this land and keep the wilderness healthy. Brush piles are very beneficial to lots of bird and animal species, so we obviously don't want to get rid of all of them. But you really don't have to look far on this land to see that there is brush everywhere. There are thousands of downed trees and brush piles all over the land. Cleaning up this brush around the cabin won't do any harm. There were a couple more projects that we wanted to get done before we left later in the day. For one, my wife found this really unique hexagon window for sale, and we decided that it would look pretty dang cool in the outhouse. It required some cutting and some framing, but in no time we had one of the most unique looking outhouses I've seen. Another small but important project was to add a few more shelves, since I had plenty of leftover rough cut wood slabs. I added a shelf by the door with a little coat rack built with a black walnut slab. I also added a beautiful black walnut shelf by the stove and table. Pretty soon we had most things put away and cleaned up. How about a little cabin tour? Hi! So as you walk in, you've got a coat hanger out of black walnut and then a big shelf made out of red maple. It's both new. Table and loft. There's another shelf back there. Kitchen. Got an L-shaped countertop here. With the necessary bird mat, of course. Got our sink. Great view. Wow. Currently construction view out the window, but will be a great view. The river's just down that way. Crock pot, towel. Those are some signs. We're gonna put those up on the property, but had to waterproof them. And then yeah, here's our kitchen storage. Another two big red maple slabs for the shelves. Junk drawer, gotta have it. You got trash and then a bucket for the sink. This is some storage for various food things, and then this is our fridge in here. We're open there. Hey, who's your good girl? Hi, our futon. Got some firewood, wood stove, Kelty's bed. Good girl, hi. There's your little bookshelf up there. Maybe that area. That looks great. Here's the loft. Window. There's a full mattress up here, and then we've got a couple blankets and some sheets in the dresser. Yeah, it's a nice spot. You can see all up along the top here, we've got these lights too. These are hung up onto the loft. Back there and around. These are just some solar rechargeable string lights that we've got. They run off of this guy. With that, it was time to relax a bit, pack up, hike out, and look forward to the next time that we could make it back up to Middlefork. there's still lots of summer projects to get done up here. Thanks so much for watching, and stay tuned as we continue building up Middlefork.